All right, we are back on the Rebooking the 90s podcast. This is episode 5. It's going to be our second TV episode after our crazy pay-per-views. I'm your host, one of your hosts, Brady Roberts, aka Brady Malibu, and I'm here with your, as always, punk hunk weirdo hero, Ravenous Randy Myers. Randy, what's going on?
This is it, darling. This is it. I'm ready for another week of Rebook in the 90s. See what the fallout of the pay-per-view was. Oh my God, so many unanswered questions. They're all going to be answered right here tonight. Maybe even ask some new questions. Who knows? Who
Sure,
knows?
sure. Maybe not all the questions will be answered, but maybe some. Who knows? Yeah.
Exactly. That's just it.
And I re-listened to the pay-per-views yesterday just to make sure that they were fresh in my brain, and I still can't get over D'Lo Brown, double champion.
I know, right? Like it's been a wild week for D'Lo. He's been all over media and stuff like that. His like Twitter has shot off. Like his numbers are just growing by the day. The fact that he's double champion is something that like it's just unprecedented in this world right now, and he's really proud.
And how's his MySpace?
His MySpace is geez, he's on everyone's top 8. He's actually the most top 8ed person of all time.
Wow.
Yeah, he's in the top 8 of all top 8s of all time.
That's incredible. Now, I had a couple follow-up questions for you from your pay-per-view. I don't have any booking ideas for you this week, unfortunately. I know you were waiting for those. My first question, it's actually maybe a fan-submitted question. A friend of mine texted me and asked me, why do the Dudley Boys have a skipping rope instead
of their tables?
Yeah.
It's a fitness issue thing. Like Devon's always been the trimmer one, as we know, and Bubba's been the bigger brother, right? So at this point in their career, they're wanting to both get into that lean. You remember when Bubba was at his fittest, he had those calves?
Yep.
How do you get calves? How do you get those calves?
Sure, skipping rope.
Skipping rope, exactly. And one thing I've learned during COVID, it's that I've learned actually how to skip rope. I never knew how to do it before, and now I can skip and rope all the time. And now I've got somewhat calves for the first time in my life. So I realize if you want to be Calvzilla like Bubba Ray and like his best, you got to have that skip and rope by you at all times.
Simple. Well, I like it, and I feel like they're obviously they're getting a lot of use out of the skipping rope. Not only are they getting themselves into great shape, but they appear to also be using that skipping rope as a weapon.
Totally. Well, a great weapon, you know what I mean? It's been around for a long time, and I mean, many people have used things similar to cause great harm.
Now, have they replaced the tables with the skipping rope entirely, or will we be seeing a combination of the two, or is that something you'd rather just leave to...
I think I'll leave that to the imagination for now, but that's a good, maybe like a little teaser for later tonight.
Sure. And my second question, you had announced on the TV prior to the pay-per-view that Arn Anderson and Bob Holly were going to be wrestling the Hardy Boys. Now, we did not see that match on the pay-per-view. Was there some sort of a COVID outbreak in the locker room, or
it was actually it was a dark match?
Oh, a dark, of course. Yeah.
Exactly.
I think we've had some of those before the fans even get in the building.
Totally, before the fans get there, before the ring's even set up. You know what I mean? Just like more of a war of words than anything else. You know?
Right.
But that being said, there was a little bit of movement on the Hardy Boys becoming flat earthers during that conversation. So we'll see whether they go all the way to the flat earth side.
Sure. I could see Matt Hardy becoming a flat earther.
Right? Yeah, it makes sense, right?
Yeah. So does a dark match count towards your win-loss records? Is that an official...
Yeah, it does. It only if you win the debate off. And they lost the debate off, so now we are moving ahead with the Flat Earthers being one step closer to those soon-to-be crowned tag team champions, which is coming up again. Another teaser for tonight.
You've got tag team titles coming tonight. That's amazing.
Well, not tonight, but maybe.
Coming soon. Okay, great. So 2 highly successful pay-per-views, lots of buzz, lots of twists and turns. Some shocking debuts. Some champions were crowned. In your case, one champion, one man took all the titles.
Yep.
Maybe he'll take the tag team titles as well. Who knows?
Take your heart.
Yeah. And tonight we're getting into our first TV of 3 leading to our second pay-per-view, which will be in, like I said, after 3 TVs. Following that, we have one final pay-per-view season finale. So we're sort of on the road to our WrestleMania coming up shortly. So since you went first at the pay-per-view, I am going to go first today.
Fantastic.
So kick back, feed up, grab a drink, a little popcorn, and we're going to get into this. So again, my TV show called Breakout, and this will be episode 2 of Breakout. So we start with a video package recapping the events of the Clash of the Champions. We see RVD and Sabu defeat Hayabusa and Jushin Liger. We see Bruiser Brody destroy Disco Inferno. We see Gangrel and Mortis abduct the Ultimate Warrior. DiBiase and IRS defeating Sting, new tag team champions. We see Eddie Guerrero and Scorpio go at it in that crazy ladder match. Eddie Guerrero wins the Intercontinental title. And then we see some clips of that final 6-pack challenge melee. Bam Bam Bigelow taking out the Ultimo Dragon, Brian Pillman showing up, destroying the ring, hitting everyone with steel chairs. And of course, the Heartbreak Kid standing tall with the heavyweight title at the end of the night. We go right to Jim Cornette's office, and he's with Sonny, and he says, you know what, Sonny, you did an amazing job at the pay-per-view, and I am going to permanently add you to that announce table, along with our third announcer. We got a 3-man booth, a 3-person booth, and in walks Don Callis. And Don Callis, he's looking scared after what happened with Bruiser Brody at the pay-per-view. He says, Cornette, you got to keep Bruiser Brody away from me. He's a crazy man. Cornette says, you know what, you'll be fine. And tonight, we got a huge card. We got an epic 6-man tag tonight with the Japanese legends, the Ultimo Dragon, Hayabusa, and Jushin Thunder Liger teaming up to take on the High Flyers, Rob Van Dam, Sabu, and 2 Cold Scorpio. Ooh. And of course, our main event, Eddie Guerrero, a fighting champion, will defend the Intercontinental title against the man that almost won the world title last night at the pay-per-view, and that is the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. Eddie Guerrero and Ric Flair. We head out to the ring, and an insane amount of pyro goes off, a disturbing amount of pyro. We get another warning from the fire department, and Surfer Sting makes his way to the ring, and he's not looking happy. He storms out. He's not slapping hands. He's not kissing babies. He's right to the ring, and he grabs the mic, and he says, Gangrel and Mortis, get out here. Explain yourself. I need to know where the Ultimate Warrior is. And the lights go out right on cue. They come back, and Gangrel and Mortis are surrounding Surfer Sting in the ring. And as Sting is kind of, he's checking it out. What's he going to do here? The Ultimate Warrior appears on the screen, but he's facing away from the camera. And he says, Sting, I've been held back. I didn't realize. He's snarling. He's snarling. Yeah, exactly. Thank you for that. His full power has never been realized, but he's finally been able to unlock his true potential, and he's been shown the light, and he's been led here by the higher power.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. And the lights go back out. The Warrior disappears. They come back on. Gangrel and Mortis are gone. Sting is left in the ring, confused, as we cut to our first commercial break.
Oof.
The higher power. Oh, my
Jeez,
God.
who could that be? Yeah.
Hopefully this ends better. What's that, sorry?
I was going to say, Warrior's potential unleashed. He was already so powerful. Where's he going to go from here? Does Sting want an enemy like Warrior? No.
Exactly. I mean, we've seen the Warrior just plow through guys already. Now he's talking about he's realizing his full potential and being led there by this higher power. Who could that be? Hopefully it ends better than the WWF in 1998 or 9 or whatever.
Or whenever. Was. Or whenever.
The real disappointing storyline. Okay, we're back. Jim Cornette's office once again. HBK walks in with the belt over his shoulder. He's got a bandage on his head from the chair shot last night. HBK says, tonight, we're going to celebrate my victory. Just like I said, I'd be standing over top of everybody with the title tonight. I'm going to have a very special edition of the Heartbreak Hotel to celebrate my world championship, being the first world champion here on Breakout. Cornette says, you know what, we need to figure out who's going to be the number 1 contender for the next pay-per-view challenge for that title. But first, there's a man that deserves a title shot because he was taken out unfairly at the pay-per-view. So I'm going to give you the night off to recover from that brutal chair shot. But next week, you defend the title in a dream match against the Ultimo Dragon.
Oh, wow.
Shawn Michaels and the Ultimo Dragon next week for the world title. Dragon, of course, take it out last night.
The clash of styles, but it's a match you've always wanted to see, you know?
Man, imagine that match at their peaks. Incredible. In the ring, standing, Brooklyn Brawler, Salvatore Sincere, and Barry Horowitz. Barry Horowitz, he's patting himself on the back. They're in the ring. They're waiting for their opponent. And out comes a very angry Bam Bam Bigelow. He also kind of screwed out of the world title last night with all this interference. So Bam Bam actually requested this match. He needed to let off some steam, and he's got 3 jobbers, as you say, in the ring. So Bam Bam gets in the ring. He double clotheslines the Brawler and Salvatore. Barry charges him, but he gets thrown into the corner. Bam Bam charges a big splash in the corner. Salvatore runs at him, but he gets a Samoan drop. The Brawler runs in, big Uranage to the Brawler. He stacks Brawler on top of Salvatore. He body slams Barry Horowitz onto the 2 of them. Bam Bam climbs up at the top. He dives up off with a flying headbutt, and he pins all 3 of them for a decisive 3 count. Bam Bam letting off some steam from last night.
The steam just coming off of those flames on his head, I'd imagine.
Exactly. He's heading back up the ramp. He's very upset, and he's jumped from behind by the Ultimo Dragon with a kendo stick. So again, attacking Bam Bam Bigelow, beats him around ringside. He's hitting him with the kendo stick. He hits him across the head. Bam Bam's bleeding from the head. Then Dragon makes his way back up the ramp. Dragon trying to get some revenge after the pay-per-view.
I don't know if I bite that off the week before I'm taking on Shawn Michaels for the championship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think I would let that sleeping dog lie for a week or 2 and then maybe get the championship and then take it out. But, Ultimo is clearly like a firecracker right now.
He's a firecracker. He's fighting Bam Bam Bigelow. He has a 6-man tag tonight.
Jeez.
Shawn Michaels gets the night off, but the Dragon has to wrestle tonight, and he's got this issue with Bam Bam Bigelow. So things are really stacking up for this guy. We're backstage. Doc Hendricks is with the British Bulldog in street clothes. Bulldog says, you know what? He never got pinned last night. He has a singles victory over Shawn Michaels, and he's got his sights set on the world title. We're back in the ring. Goldust has a new tag team partner. Once again, it's the Disco Inferno. And Goldust is trying to learn some disco moves from the Disco Inferno. It's not going well. Yeah, exactly. It's not going well. Out to the ring, High Impact. Chris Jericho and Edge, they make their way to the ring. Fiery baby faces, slapping hands. These guys are kissing babies. Okay, they get in. They make short work of Goldust and Disco. These guys, once again, cannot get on the same page. They hit the spear lion salt combo on the Disco Inferno for the 1, 2, 3. Edge and Jericho continue their dominance here. We're back in DiBiase and IRS's private locker room, and they're watching the monitor. It's a big one. It's 70 inches. That's a big TV.
That is a big TV. Is it flat screen?
Flat screen. Yeah. Nice. Mounted up on the wall, little swivel.
Oh, beautiful.
Sound bar.
Nice.
Okay. And they're watching Edge and Jericho celebrate. They're drinking champagne. They got nice suits on. They got the tag team titles on over top of their suits. Cornette walks in. He says, that was a great showing for High Impact. And, I need to start determining the number 1 contender for your tag team titles. IRS, he's got his suitcase. He opens the briefcase. He opens the briefcase up, and he pulls out DiBiase's contract, and he says, Cornette, right here, if you look, it's section 73B, states that when Mr. DiBiase wins a title, he will be the one to determine who the first challenger is, and he will decide when that first title defense is. And Cornette shakes his head. He can't believe this unbelievable contract that Ted DiBiase has got himself here, and he walks out. He's frustrated. And TL Hopper comes out of the bathroom, and TL Hopper says, sir, I've completed your 24-karat gold toilet.
That's what I've been waiting for.
Took him a couple weeks, yeah. DiBiase, I'm not sure what the timeline to install the toilet is, to be honest. But
I'm not even sure if you're all in the same stadium every week, but I appreciate it.
Yeah. So, I was thinking about that, actually. I was going to say what city I was in each week, but then I decided that DiBiase's got his own locker room. So I think we're just in the same arena at all times.
That's nice. I like that. I like a
studio wrestling. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Same crowd. That way you can really build up storylines and connect with the audience.
Exactly. So TL comes out. He says, I've completed the toilet. DiBiase says, you're not leaving so soon because now I need you to install a champagne fountain. And TL, he's not happy about this, but he needs the money. Okay. These jobbers, these uncles, they need the money. Okay. We're back in the ring. Wild 6-man tag team action. Okay. Ultimo Dragon, Hayabusa, and Jushin Liger. taking on the high flyers, Rob Van Dam, Sabu, and Scorpio.
Oof.
We've been informed that Bam Bam Bigelow has been taken to a local medical facility as his head was sliced open from the kendo stick. So luckily, he cannot interfere in this match. So this is a spot fest, okay? It breaks down into a big schmoz. These 6 men, all baby faces, all respectful, very sportsmanlike, okay? We get a big series of dives. Scorpio hits a twisting plancha onto the Ultimo Dragon. Liger, he runs up the ropes, big crossbody out onto Scorpio. Sabu flips over the top rope, dives onto Liger. Van Dam goes to dive onto everyone, but Hayabusa and Ultimo move out of the way as he crashes down to the floor. And Hayabusa and Ultimo climb up for the big double acai moonsault onto the pile of bodies on the outside. Back in the ring, Sabu jumps off Van Dam's back, hits the triple jump moonsault on Hayabusa. Liger, he breaks it up, big brainbuster on Van Dam. Scorpio hits a 450 splash onto Liger, but Ultimo breaks it up. Sabu goes for that flying leg line in the corner, but Ultimo moves, grabs him by the head, climbs up the ropes, slice spread number 2. Hayabusa grabs Sabu and hits a big spinning Falcon Arrow for the 1, 2, 3. Hayabusa pins Sabu, and both teams shake hands at the end. What a match.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
Sure, yeah.
A spot fest. Cornette's office. He's looking over contracts, and in walks the Disco Inferno. He says he's not getting a fair shake. He hasn't got that world title match. At the pay-per-view, he got ambushed by Bruiser Brody. Yeah, he issued an open challenge, sure, but he didn't know Bruiser Brody was there that night. He didn't realize he was on the roster. He didn't listen to the draft episode. He wasn't ready. And tonight, he gets put in a tag team match with Goldust. So Disco says, I want my world title match. Cornette says, you know what? You haven't won a match here yet, Disco, so I'm not sure I can give you a world title match. And there's a lot of great competitors here. A lot of guys here think they deserve a title shot. And that's why I've decided at the next pay-per-view, I am going to have a 20-man Rumble, Royal Rumble style, 20 men, and the winner will go on to face the world champion at our big year-end pay-per-view, which is called Worlds Collide.
Ow.
So if Disco wants a world title match, he can enter the Rumble and beat 19 other guys to get it.
Jeez.
Back in the ring, Tiger Ali Singh is in the ring. Of course, he showed up at the pay-per-view. He's in the ring when Bruiser Brody's music hits. Oh, no. And he charges out to the ring. He's swinging his chain. He's got his spike. Don Callis at ringside is terrified. Tiger Ali pulls out a stack of money. He tries to pay off Bruiser Brody. Bruiser Brody does not, I don't think he uses money.
No, I don't think that's going to work.
He hunts in the wilderness for his food.
Maybe it was chicken bones. He might,
Sure. He should have paid him in chicken bones. So Brody swats the money away, grabs Tiger Ali by the throat, picks him up, big press slam, picks him back up, big pile driver. Brody climbs to the top, jumps off, flying knee drop to the head. He pins Tiger Ali for the 3 count. Brody is in the ring. He's swinging the chain over his head as we cut to commercial break. Bruiser Brody just absolutely dominant over this roster here. We're back. We're in the back, and Doink the Clown has his carnival stand set up.
Beautiful.
Okay, he was scamming jobbers at the Clash of the Champions. Yep. Doink, he's got his carnival stand set up. He's got balloons hanging on the wall, and La Parka is throwing darts at the balloons. Okay, he cannot pop one. He stands up on his chair. He sets his chair up. He stands up. He tries to, maybe if I get from a different angle, I can get it. He throws one. Still, it's not working. He has a little temper tantrum. He storms off. Doink grabs the dart, takes the end of it, pokes the end of it. He's filed these things down.
Oh,
okay.
Never trust a clown.
Doink, he counts his money. He continues his carnival scam on the roster. Unbelievable. Okay, we're back in the ring. We still got more action after this, but this is technically our main event, the Intercontinental title on the line. Eddie Guerrero makes his way to the ring in his lowrider. Ric Flair makes his way out with the Heenan family, Bobby Heenan, Kurt Hennig, and Crush Kona Crush, wearing nice suits. Okay, back and forth.
What color's the robe?
The robe tonight is orange.
Perfect. Nice. Okay.
It's orange. He's got them all, different one every night. This is a great technical match. We got about 10 minutes back and forth. Great action. Eddie Guerrero, incredible baby face, real over with the crowd. These guys love him. Heenan distracts the ref and Hennig slides in the ring, and he tries to hit Eddie Guerrero with the Intercontinental title. Eddie ducks. The belt falls down. He throws Hennig over the top rope on to crush. Eddie grabs the Intercontinental title. He throws it at Ric Flair. Ric Flair catches it. The ref turns around. Eddie falls over. Rick is holding the belt. The ref sees this. He rings the bell. He disqualifies Ric Flair. The crowd goes crazy. Eddie gets his belt. He celebrates in the crowd. He's outsmarted the Nature Boy. He's outsmarted the dirtiest player in the game.
Dirtier than the dirtiest player.
He's dirtier than the dirtiest player. He's lied, cheated, and stolen his way to a victory tonight. And he celebrates in the crowd with the people, and they love him. We crash to commercial break. We're back here. Backstage interview. Doc Hendricks is standing there. The Heenan family rolls up. Ric Flair is very upset that Eddie cheated to win. The irony. Curt Hennig interrupts. He says, you want to throw me over the top rope, Eddie? I was just trying to assist the referee in keeping some control out here tonight. But if you want to be a fighting champion, how about next week? Eddie, you defend that Intercontinental title against me, Mr. Perfect Curt Hennig.
Wow.
And the Heenan family storms off. So we got 2 huge title matches next week. Shawn Michaels defending against the Ultimo Dragon, the world title. And another dream match, Intercontinental title, Eddie Guerrero defending against Mr. Perfect.
Wow.
Unreal.
This podcast is all about is rebooking matches that you always wanted to see, making dream matches come true in our mind's eye.
Exactly. And my dog's he's barking at me. He's upset. I'm yelling. Okay, final segment. Shawn Michaels makes his way to the ring to celebrate his world title victory with a special edition of the Heartbreak Hotel. He's got his little sunglasses on, the mullet. He's got the title over his shoulder, the heart-shaped bed. He's got mirrors. He's got it all. Shawn, he lays down on the heart-shaped bed. He says, I promised everybody here at the Clash of the Champions I would stand victorious at the end of the night, and the Heartbreak Kid did exactly that. So there's about 5 minutes left on this show, and I'm just going to lay here with the title, and you guys can take photos of me, and that's it.
Photo op main event.
A photo op main event. We cut to the backstage area, to the loading bay, and Stone Cold Steve Austin's pickup truck pulls up. Austin gets out of the truck. He slams the door. He was caught in traffic. He's not here to the very last segment. He limps through the backstage area. The glass breaks, and Stone Cold heads to the ring, very angry. HBK looks concerned. He gets his belt. He powders out of the ring. Austin gets in the ring. He just starts flipping over the set. He flips the bed over. He kicks the mirror, shatters the mirror. The Heartbreak Hotel is being destroyed. Austin grabs the mic. He says, Brian Pillman, get your ass out here right now. You screwed me out of the title last night. Up on the screen, Brian Pillman appears. It's like that selfie style video, like in the Dark Knight or something. Pillman says he did exactly what he came here to do, and that's cause absolute mayhem. And that was just the beginning of the Clash of the Champions, because he ain't here to listen to no Booker man.
Ooh.
So people that's me, I guess. This is the dark side of the Ring Wrestling Federation, man. So people have called him the loose cannon, the ticking time bomb. Well, tonight he's got a time bomb of his own, and he pulls out a remote. It's got a big red button on it.
No.
And Pillman, the announcers are screaming, no. He hits the big red button. We cut back to the loading bay, and Austin's truck explodes in a huge fireball.
More pyro.
Luckily, Austin was not in the vehicle at this time. We cut back to the ring. Austin is absolutely livid. Pillman's laughing his ass off, and we fade to black. Austin's truck exploding in a ball of fire.
The first takeaway from your show is the amount of pyro.
Yeah.
The amount of every week. I think we've seen limousines. We've seen pickup trucks. We've seen bow riders. I hope that you have some sort of connection or sponsorship with like a used car dealership or something like that. Because this is, the amount of, I'm so impressed with your vehicle budget.
The scope. Yeah. I think this is another reason why we stay in the same arena every week. You know, the permits and the fire department and the car rentals. Everything is just, we got to keep it all at the one arena here. It just makes things a little easier logistically.
No, definitely. Do they train in the same arena?
Yeah, there's a little gym in the back.
Oh, nice. Like like nothing special though, right?
Nothing special. Just, a couple benches, couple mismatched dumbbells.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. Sounds awesome.
Most of the money went into DiBiase's locker room, really.
Yeah. And that in
So,
Pyro.
and that in Pyro. Exactly.
Yeah, of course.
Exactly. Yeah. So
All right.
that's it, man.
I love
Big
it.
show. Big show.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
Set up for next week. There's huge matches coming at us next week. Dream matches. We've got Mr. Perfect, Eddie Guerrero. We got Ultimo Dragon and Shawn Michaels. And how's Shawn going to be feeling after having his set destroyed this week?
Exactly.
You know? He's got a Bulldog. We got Bam Bam's beef with Ultimo. Who knows where that's going to lead, right?
A lot of intersecting storylines. You know, I like when guys sort of have beef with more than one guy, because I think that would really happen in a wrestling federation like that. I think sometimes in wrestling, guys are feuding with one guy, and it's like that's the only person they ever interact with. And it's like, man, if you're all going for the title, or you got this Rumble coming up, all that stuff, like you're going to have multiple sort of intersecting storylines.
It's like polyamorous feuding, right? You're not just feuding with one person; you can feud with anyone, right?
I like it. That's great.
I don't know if you've ever been like, like we know we don't in wrestling. You don't necessarily have to be committed to your enemy, and I don't know why they are so committed to their enemies. Like we're not bound by some sort of like engagement ring or something like that. We can.
The only thing that I'm committed to in indie wrestling is the one local promoter I'm allowed to work for that won't allow me to work for any other promoters in the province.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I would be committed to them till the end of time.
Exactly.
Well, okay, until the other promoter offers me more money, and then I turn coat and go to them.
Exactly. Or the other, the promoter offers me like the cruiserweight title or something like that.
Jeez,
Yeah.
Is it like a WWE gimmicked one?
It is. It's got a sticker.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they've actually even did the sticker. Some places don't even do the sticker.
I'm impressed. Yeah, if it's a sticker that actually fits over top of the WWE logo, like they went as far as to make sure it even fits in that little space for the WWE sticker, that's the next mile.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, incredible. Okay, man, I can't wait to hear your show here. So many questions, man. Is Ross Hart okay?
Is he ever okay? That's the question.
Is he ever okay? I also noticed, going back to the draft episode, quite a few guys that haven't shown up yet. I'm very excited to see where they fall into place here.
Definitely. There's going to be a couple of those debuts coming to your way tonight.
Oh,
all right. So we start off our show tonight. And we start off with the Hearts. Backstage, they're all gathered together. This is the first time we've seen all the Hearts together. We've got we've got Brett, we've got Ross, we've got Jim, and we've got Owen. They're all there together, and Brett is saying he's apologizing from the bottom of his heart for not having his brothers back last week, putting them through such turmoil. Ross is there again, like you just said. He isn't doing well. He's on crutches. He's got his head wrapped up. He's clearly seen better days. But Brett says until that there's last week his focus was all on the world title, and now that there's such chicanery and such no goodness, and since they can't get a hold of the world title picture until things calm down, he's got to focus on what's important, and what's important to him is his family. Meanwhile, at the same time, you've got Spike Dudley, who at this point has aligned himself slightly with the Hearts, kind of feeling a little bit out. He's sitting there. He doesn't have his brothers. He sees the uniting of the Hart family and feels lonely. He says, you know what? Y'all take care of the Dudleys. I've got unanswered questions with Mike Awesome. So I'm going to take care of Mike Awesome here tonight.
Great.
We then go to inside the ring. It's Roddy Piper. He's still got unanswered questions. He wants to know, why was his microphone being shut off? Who is it that was wrecked our main event at the pay-per-view? Who was it that kept changing it? Who orchestrated D'Lo Brown becoming not a one, but a two-time champion in one night? He's got unanswered questions. Just then, he's in the ring, and he says he's not going to leave the ring until those questions are answered. His mic starts going out. Again, he starts tapping on the mic, but he's thought ahead. Out to the ring comes none other than the mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart, with his megaphone. He hands over the megaphone to Roddy Piper. Piper says, you can cut my mic all you like, but I'm going to find a way to talk one way or another. And tonight, I am getting to the bottom of who is controlling this show and who ruined the pay-per-view. And he heads off to the backstage with Jimmy Hart.
I love it. Great use of Jimmy Hart.
Right? I thought so. The next is our first tag match of this evening. This evening is all about tag team matches. We're going to find out who is going to be are #1 contenders for the tag team championship by the end of tonight, which will be crowned next week.
Wow.
We have Ray and Tajiri in the ring, where with Muta coming out with the debut of his tag team partner, none other than the nasty, the lovely Dr. Luther. This team, two men who know each other well from tours of Japan, two men who have seen it all, who have done it all, two men with beautiful face paint on, I'll say. Mm-hmm. They go into the ring. Tajiri and Rey Mysterio are still at the top of their game. They're not two competitors to be looked over. Tajiri and Muta start going toe-to-toe. Rey Mysterio's in there. They start having a technical bout. Luther comes in with his power and eventually just cuts off Tajiri. Tajiri gets the heat taken on him by Muta and by Luther. They're doing both fantastic maneuvers as well as vicious maneuvers. You got Luther fish hooking Tajiri, pulling back the nose, wet willies. It's the nastiest, bullyish style heat you've seen in a while. Finally, Tajiri Muta's in. They both go for the double springboard elbow at the same time. Both hit each other with the elbow, double down.
Nice.
Tajiri makes the long crawl to Rey Mysterio, tags in Rey as Luther gets tagged in. Rey lights up Luther with a whole bunch of kicks. Bam, 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 bam. Eventually goes for the big head scissors, but Luther blocks. Big backbreaker. Boom! In comes, or goes for the pin. 1, 2. In comes Tajiri to break up the pinfall. That brings in Muta. Tajiri eventually locks in the tarantula on Muta on the ropes. Rey hits the drop toe hold into the same ropes. Luther's there. Rey goes for the 619, but as he hits the 619, that sets off the balance of Tajiri, which causes Tajiri to tumble to the outside. Rey sees that, goes for the West Coast pop anyways. Luther catches him. Muta hits the mist. Luther hits the power bomb. 1, 2, 3. Muta and Luther are over in your first tag match of this evening.
Wow. Great tag team. Very cool.
Yeah. Next, we have our champion come out. It's champion celebration time. It's a night to celebrate D'Lo Brown. What he's handed out is the whole audience has free brown t-shirts. There's nothing on them. They're just brown t-shirts. And the fans are none too impressed, but D'Lo is super happy about this, right? He's out. He says the fans are all wearing my t-shirts. The fans all love my t-shirts, and they love their new champion. At that point, he says, I've got an apology to make, though. I don't want you to look down on me. I want you to look at me as the champion that you always wanted. And so tonight, I'm gonna make up for a wrongdoing I did at the pay-per-view. Calls out Booker T. Says, Booker T, I'm sorry that if you feel by any way that I took this belt away from you. And Booker says, that doesn't say anything, just looks at him with a stern look on his face. D'Lo offers him his hand. Booker shakes his head. D'Lo says, hey, I've got something for you. You know what? You may not be world championship material, but what you are, he hands him the second belt. Hands him the first belt that he had won that night, our Intercontinental Championship. He hands him, and Booker looks at it, thinks about it for a second. Do I want to win the belt this way? No, Booker's a fighting champion. He just doesn't want to be handed a championship. But how else is he going to get his hands on a belt right now? All this is on Booker's face. You can just read it.
You can read
he grabs the belt from D'Lo. He thinks about it. And greed overcomes him. He holds that championship up in the air, and he declares himself the new champion for a moment. But then he turns around and levels D'Lo Brown with the belt, saying, I'm not here for your handouts. I'm here for what I deserve, and that is a shot at the World Championship. So next week, D'Lo, whether you like it or not, I'm going to be on your ass, and I'm going to get that World Championship shot. So D'Lo, our champion, our two-time champion, is laying there in the ring while all the fans rip off their brown shirts and throw them. There's a whole, it's like ECW when they threw in the chairs, but everyone's throwing in their brown shirts.
I love it. Just a pile of brown shirts. So now is Booker T the champion with the other belt, or do they both? Okay.
He doesn't want handouts.
Didn't accept it. Got it.
So after that point, we go into we announce that tonight The winners of our tag matches will go into a 3-way ladder match for the championship.
Great.
3 ladders, or sorry, 3 tables, 1.5 chairs, and a 3-legged stool match.
One and a half chairs.
Yeah, 1.5 chairs. Yeah.
Wow.
So like a half chair would be like, it's more like a beanbag chair, really. Okay. So at that point, we've got the Harts versus the Dudleys, the feud that's been brewing. We have the Harts versus the Dudleys coming up next. The Harts already in the ring. We've got Jim and we've got Owen, the new Hart Foundation. Not the newest, just the new.
Right. Got it. Okay.
All right.
So
at that point, the Dudleys' music comes on and the Dudleys come out to the ring. But as they come out, they're attacked from behind by none other than Bret Hart and Ross Hart with the crutch. Ross just starts laying it into Bubba. And Bubba, meanwhile, Bret's got Devon and the sharpshooter up on the ramp. At that point, the Tron comes on, or as we have it's a fairly good size Zenith television. It's still a box, but it's decent.
Pretty good size. Yeah.
That comes on, and we see Spike Dudley in the back getting his revenge that he vowed to get on Mike Awesome earlier in the night. And he's attacking Mike Awesome with anything he can find in the back. At this point, Mike Awesome's already busted open. He's bloody. He's bruised. And Spike Dudley finds a forklift and loads Mike Awesome onto the forklift. Mm-hmm. And then we hit back to the ring. Inside the ring, we've got Jim the Anvil Neidhart. We've got Owen Hart, and they've set up tables. So the Dudleys get brought to the ring. Devon gets laid on the table. Owen passes up Bubba to Jim the Anvil Neidhart on the top rope. Jim the Anvil Neidhart power bombs right through the table. Boom. This match is thrown out. Not even really a match. It gets decided that both teams are going on to the ladder match next week. So it will be a four-team ladder match next week. Finding out the final members, it will be Muta and Luther. It will be the Dudleys. It will be 2 of the Harts. They have to choose which 2 members of the Harts to go into this match. And then the winners of tonight's next match, which is China, How Rude versus the Flat Earthers. So China and Rude are in the ring. They're both looking fantastic. Rude has track pants on, so we still haven't seen these fantastic tights that he's been hyping up for weeks. Yep. Out to the ring come the Flat Earthers, and they look angry, horny, if you will. Ornery, horny, and they look horny and ornery. They're very angry. They come to the ring because how can you not be looking at China and Rick Rude, right? I mean, no matter what floats your boat, there's something in that ring to do it.
Exactly.
So they get in the ring. Before they can, Rick Rude stops them, and he starts strutting his stuff, and he says, you know what? Not only is the earth not flat, but my ass isn't flat. And he rips off his tights, and on his ass, he's got a picture of the earth, completely, perfectly round, showing how such disrespect to the Flat Earthers. The Flat Earthers get all mad, charge into the ring. They throw some clotheslines. They're both ducked, and then they get lit up by Rude and China. With some big forearms into the corner. Rick Rude and China do a little do-si-do. China hits the backhand or the back handspring elbow into the corner. Rick Rude hits a big clothesline. They're on top of the world when out of nowhere come the Hardy Boys, the newly converted to flat earthing Hardy Boys, holding a flat globe. It looks like a map, but it's actually a flat globe. And they attack both China and Rick Rude from behind. Boom.
Wow.
The referee sees all this, though, throws the match out, declaring that Rick Rude and China are going on to the 4-way next week. But they still have beef with the Flat Earthers, and now they have beef with the new joiners of the cult of Flat Earth, the Hardy Boys.
Wow. It's a new stable.
Exactly. The Flat Earth stable.
Bob Hawley, Arn Anderson, and the Hardy Boys. I love it.
Exactly. We got Nero. We got Matt Hardy. It's going to be wild. All right. So backstage, we go backstage where Piper is trying to find out who's been haunting him. And he finds 3 sets of glasses. 1 set of glasses, no lenses, tape in the middle. Dudley Boys, throws them to the side.
Yeah.
Another pair of glasses, square cut, not a whole frame. Bret Hart glasses, throws them to the side. Third set of glasses, yellow, little, son. He puts them on, and he notices as soon as he puts them on, music starts playing. It's familiar music, and he starts following that music down the hallway to where its source is. Then we cut back into the ring, where we see Lance Storm and Mick Foley.
Yes.
Mick Foley is saying that he's been hurt before. He's had his body hurt. He's had his mind hurt. But this time, Lance, this time, you went too far. You hurt Mick Foley's feelings. Mm-hmm. So next week, Mick Foley is challenging Lance Storm to a choose-your-own-adventure match. Lance Storm can choose any one of Mick Foley's aliases, and that is who he's going to face next week.
Wow. Is Santa Claus eligible?
No, any single Mick Foley, even Cactus Sack, who was the character they played in the Insane Clown Posse movie, because I don't think they have the rights to Cactus Jack, but yeah, Cactus Sack.
Cactus Sack.
Yeah.
Great.
Yep, no, definitely. So that's coming up to us next week. That is our one big match for next week. Then it's time for our main event. It's time for the man that the fans all paid to see, the ultimate babyface, Abe Lincoln. He's in the ring, and he looks angry. He wants to know, where is his top hat? Buff Bagwell comes out. He's got the top hat, but the top hat looks new. It's got a fresh coat of paint on it, if you will. Looks like it's got the Mount Rushmore on it, but instead of our former presidents' heads, not our former, some former presidents, instead of a bunch of those guys, what we've got is a picture of Buff Bagwell. We got another picture of Buff Bagwell, and a third photo of Buff Bagwell, and finally, to close off Mount Rushmore on Buff Bagwell's hat, which was Abe Lincoln's hat, none other than Judy Bagwell. Judy Bagwell makes up the fourth person on the Mount Rushmore of Buff Bagwell's hat.
Nice.
Goes to the ring. Abe Lincoln shakes it off. Clearly angry, but he's not the type to let this bother him. Takes a clean inhale through his nose, exhales through his mouth, meditative state. Starts putting on the most technical classic you've ever seen. He's doing arm drags, he's doing headlocks, he's doing head scissors, he's doing drop toe holds, Russian leg sweeps, and big drop kicks, high cross bodies off the top rope. Abe Lincoln is your ultimate babyface. Bumping Buff Bagwell all over the place. Buff is not getting a shot. Everything Buff goes for, Abe is reversing. Until finally, Judy jumps up on the apron out of nowhere, through the crowd, rips off her brown shirt, because she's been supporting D'Lo Brown all night. She's the one that didn't take it off. Jumps up on the apron, distracts the referee from behind. Buff Bagwell hits a big low blow on Abe Lincoln, goes to the top ropes, calling for the blockbuster, puts on the top hat. At that point, hits the blockbuster, but Abe catches him midair. He doesn't let him go. And Abe's got him, holding him up in that vertical suplex. Boom! Hits multiple suplexes out of it, like Eddie Guerrero style, spinning up, hitting all these beautiful moves. Eventually goes for one more Falcon Arrow style. Boom! Buff Bagwell drops behind, rolls him up, grabs the tights, feet up on the ropes. Boom! 1, 2, 3. Buff walks out with holding his mom's hand. His mom is wearing the top hat. Abe Lincoln doesn't know what to do. Abe Lincoln did everything right. He's trained. He's eaten his vitamins. He's been meditating. He's been going to therapy. He's been trying his best. He even combed his beard this morning. And yet, Buff Bagwell still gets one up on him.
Wow.
We go backstage again to Roddy Piper, still following that music, checking out different doors, looking in this one, looking in that one, till finally he sees this bright light coming from underneath the door, and he knows that's where the music's been coming from. Slowly opens the door, and when he walks out, he sees a graveyard, smoke billowing all over the ground, ravens crowing everywhere, and then the door slams behind him. The door gets locked. And we pan out to see who's locking that door, and it is none other than our evil leader, Raven. He smirks and walks into his office that closes the door, and it says, your president, Raven.
Wow.
Yeah. So that starts off a thing with Raven and Piper. Who knows where that's going to go? Portland icons.
Man, imagine the promos.
For sure, exactly, right? The psychological warfare between those two. And like I think Raven thinks he's got a one-up on Piper now, but I don't think anyone can ever have a one-up on Piper.
I love it. And Raven has some sort of dimension to a graveyard.
Exactly,
When you open that door. I love it.
Well, I think that's where we put all the wrestlers that have passed.
Of course.
Yeah, we just it's easier that way. Just like you have a workout facility, we just have a graveyard attached. And it's also we can charge people to come visit.
Yes.
Yeah, the former wrestlers.
Wow, incredible. That's great, man. So you got a big show next week too. Is D'Lo Brown wrestling Booker T?
Well, Booker T's laid down the challenge. He says that there's no way that D'Lo Brown's not going to wrestle him, but D'Lo Brown's got that championship advantage, so he can either take the match or not take the match. Who knows whether Raven's going to enforce those rules? Who knows what kind of power people like Roddy Piper has, or like feels like the inmates are running the asylum to some degree. So we have to see if some order needs to get set into place.
And you've got the big tag team title match.
That's true. Yeah, we do.
Great. And was there one other match? There was one other match. Mick Foley
versus Lance Storm. Who knows which version of Mick Foley we're going to see? The Choose Your Own Adventure match, first ever.
Wow. Big show.
Yeah,
that's great, man.
That's what have for next week?
What have Luna and Bull Nakano been up to?
Oh, Luna, sorry. Luna, that was my one forget. You know, it's not a Randy show.
Okay.
So Luna was actually doing commentary tonight.
Oh, great. Okay, cool.
Yeah, we had Luna on doing commentary. Bull Nakano was nowhere to be found tonight, but she was probably taking care of herself. It takes a lot of work to get that hair.
Of course.
I don't know. Like I've had my hair up, spiked quite high many times in the past. I've used Elmer's glue. I've used Knox gelatin, and no matter what the process was, it always took a long time. So I wouldn't be surprised if she's just constantly working on that or getting someone to chisel it out.
Sure. So she might be on the show maybe next week or the week after, but she's prepping her hair right now.
Definitely. We only had so much of a face paint budget as well, and that was mostly went to Muda and to Luther this week. So we've really got to we don't have this pyro budget that somebody has, you know. We only have the Kane barbecue sponsorship, and that's
well, and you blew most of your budget building a graveyard.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, and it's also constantly got one of those smoke machines, and that's actually really pricey. When you're running one of those things 24 hours and you need, the atmosphere in the room, the right atmosphere. So we've also got somebody who's doing atmosphere work, and they're blowing the smoke all over the place.
Of course, that's expensive. Great shoulder workout, though.
Yeah, bird handlers we've got as well for the crows and the ravens. Yep.
Of course. And no animals were harmed in the filming of this.
No, my goodness, no. So wrestlers, many wrestlers were harmed.
Yeah.
Severely harmed, both emotionally and physically, but no animals, no.
No animals. Okay, great. Perfect. Well, hopefully our listeners are not emotionally damaged any more so than they're already emotionally damaged.
They are.
Listening to a podcast about 90s wrestling. Great, man. Awesome show.
Fantastic, friend.
So we will reconvene next week. We got 2 more TVs to the pay-per-view. And a couple big shows, man. Lots of big matches for next week.
Totally. You're working. You've already got eyes set on your WrestleMania style show. It's coming. It's all coming down the line, friends. And it's coming to your ear holes or your eye holes. Are they watching eye holes and ear holes?
Yeah, both.
Yeah,
both. Ear holes and eye holes are being tingled.
Tingled. Ooh,
with excitement.
Your eye hole.
Stay out of my eyeballs. Okay, awesome, guys. We will see you again next week for TV number 3.
You sure will. Bye, darlings.